that today I have seen him, he's resting on his bed, exhausted, but today I'm going to bless him with a vision of mine. Jibreel alayhi salam, it has been stated that night, Jibreel alayhi salam accompanied 70,000 angels. They left the heavens, they came to call the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now it was a habit that usually Jibreel alayhi salam used to wait at the door. He used to knock on the door as adab for the respect of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But today, very unusual. Jibreel alayhi salam peacefully receding without even informing the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam entered the room. Why? Because Allah wants you to give the Prophet a surprise. If someone suddenly woke up, he would be surprised. Jibreel alayhi salam saw the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sleeping. He said, Ya Allah, how am I supposed to wake the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Look at the adab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya Jibreel, qabli rijlayhi, just kiss his feet. Jibreel alayhi salam bent over, he kissed the beloved souls of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The coolness of Jibreel alayhi salam woke the eyes up. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was surprised. He had Jibreel, what do you want? As Jibreel alayhi salam said, Allah wants you. Allah is calling you. So now the hadith states, as Anas bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala and other muhaddithun have stated, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam left the house of Hani. It was very close to the Kaaba Sharif. Even today, the house of Hani is in Haram, in the masjid. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam performed wudu, and then Jibreel said to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, lie onto the floor, in the hatim. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam rested. Mikael salam came with a tray of Iman and Hikmah from Jannah, a golden tray from Jannah. Jibreel alayhi salam cut open the chest of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as heard before, and the heart was taken out. It was cleaned, and Iman and Hikmah from Jannah was placed into the heart and placed back into the chest of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then what happened? Jibreel alayhi salam also he brought with him Buraq. What? Buraq. It's a heavenly animal. The hadith states, to describe the animal, it was shorter than a mule, but larger than a donkey. It had 2 wings. It was very white. Now, very interesting enough, for those who are interested in science, Buraq is a literal word from Barq. يَكَادُ الْبَرْقُ يَخْطَفُ أَبْصَارَهُم. Yeah, Barq means lightning. Okay? The reason because the speed of Buraq was the speed of light. How is this possible? The hadith states, the Prophet ﷺ states that the step of Buraq was as far as the eye could see. That's one step. And that is why it was a Buraq, because the speed of Buraq was the speed of light. Now, according to science, the speed of light is 300 million meters per second. That's the speed of light. 300 million meters per second, or to make it convert to miles, 186,000 miles per second. This is a very interesting point I'm going to note here about Aqidah al-Sunnah Jama'ah. Okay, look at the maqam of the prophets. So that was the speed of Buraq. It could go faster than the speed of light. Now, the Prophet ﷺ mounted Buraq. Then Jibreel al-Islam held the reins of the Buraq, and they went from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa. Now, very important point to remember here. The 2 words you're going to hear a lot in this day and age. One is Meraj, one is Isra. Isra is from the word Asra. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى. I to travel during the night. This has been mentioned in the Quran. That's called Isra. So the journey from Makkah Sharif to Masjid Aqsa to Palestine, this is known as Isra. And the journey from Masjid Aqsa and beyond is called Meraj. And that is why whoever denies that the Prophet ﷺ did not travel, did not do Isra, he is going against the verse of the Quran, and therefore he will go out of the fold of Islam. This is very important. He'll turn a disbeliever. If whoever rejects this ayah, I don't believe this. This is impossible. If you say this, then you're rejecting one of the verses of the Quran, you are rejecting the qudra of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and thus you'll be out of the folds of Islam. Nevertheless, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mounted in Buraq. Speed, like the speed of light. In Sahih Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ states that I was traveling in the air from Masjid al-Aqsa, from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa. I saw Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam praying namaz in his grave. Okay, subhanallah. Subhanallah. Also say, subhanallah. He was traveling, he saw what? He saw Musa alayhi salam praying namaz in his grave. Now, even before the Buraq reached Masjid al-Aqsa, he saw Musa alayhi salam welcoming him. Subhanallah. Say Subhanallah. Subhanallah. I say again, the speed of Buraq, the speed of light. Whilst they were traveling, the hadith of Imam Muslim is that Prophet ﷺ saw as Musa alayhi salam praying namaz in his grave. But even before Buraq reached Masjid al-Aqsa, the Prophet ﷺ saw Musa alayhi salam Masjid al-Aqsa. That means the speed of Musa alayhi salam is faster than the speed of Buraq, and thus the prophets, their speed is faster than the speed of light. And what is going to be the speed of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we're going to hear later on. Now in Masjid al-Aqsa, now two very important aspects you learn here. There are two masjid that are portrayed. Especially in media, you're only going to see one masjid, the Dome of the Rock. Dome of the Rock is not Masjid al-Aqsa. Remember this. Dome of the Rock, that is Dome of the Rock. Dome of the Rock is not Masjid al-Aqsa. It's called Qubbatu Sakhra. Why is it called rock? Why is it called rock? The reason because when Jibreel alayhi salam, when they entered Palestine, Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam with his finger, he made a hole in this rock. And he tied the Buraq on this rock. Even today, okay, and if it's possible for you, okay, you're able to see the footprints of the Buraq on the stone. The Prophet ﷺ entered the masjid. Now this is Masjid al-Aqsa. He entered the masjid and he saw people he didn't recognize at the time. They were praying namaz. Some were engaging in the sujood, some in ruku, some in prostration, some in qiyam, and so forth. And then Hazrat Mika alayhi salam gave adhan. And then they all stood in saf, waiting for someone to lead a prayer. The hadith states that Jibreel alayhi salam held my hand and put me forward. Okay, today you're going to lead a prayer. And then after the prayer, Jibreel alayhi salam said, do you know who are these people? That these are all the prophets, all the messengers that were sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this dunya. They all prayed namaz behind the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In another hadith, even angels of the heavens, they came to pray namaz behind the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came out. Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam presented with two cups. One cup had wine, and other cup had milk. Jibreel presented, you could choose one to drink. The Prophet ﷺ chose milk to drink. So Jibreel said, you have chosen fitra. You have chosen what is natural for the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. If you were to choose wine, it was pure at that time anyway. It was pure wine from Jannah. If you were to choose wine, then your ummah would have been misled because of this. And then Musa, the Prophet was mounted Buraq again. Now they began to move. Whilst they were moving, according to what I have heard from my friend from Palestine, and I've read in a few books as well. Whilst they were going up, the rock in the masjid began to move up. Jibreel turned around and said, stay where you are. And it remained, till this day, it remains in mid-air. Okay, subhanallah. That's why even if you go to Qubur al-Safa, go to the cellar and see there are no pillars. There's no pillars, you can just see the rock, it's in mid-air. But they made a wall around it for the masjid, Okay, but there's no pillars to support the rock. Because in the mid-air, because of what Jibreel says, stay where you are. Remain where it was. Then what happened? The Prophet ﷺ, they went to the first sky. Now, the distance between each sky, there are 7 skies, 7 heavens. The distance between the earth and the first sky is the distance of 500 years. First to second, 500 years. Second to third, 500 years. Third to fourth, 500 years. Fourth to fifth, so forth. All of 500 years. So if you want to go from earth to the 7th heaven, according to the hadith, it will take you 35,000 years. How many years? 35,000 years. Nevertheless, they went to the first sky. Now, very important. Do you know in physics, it's been told the sky is like, it's a gas. It's gas. It's not gas. In Sharia, in Islam, it's physical. Okay, the sky is physical. It's physically there. Okay, you can touch it. Okay, it's made up of something. Now, there's one special door, never opened. Never ever opened. There are other doors that open. There are many doors of heavens. Okay, one special door that's only for the Prophet for Meraj. When Allah created the skies, it never opened. It was only for the Prophet ﷺ. Yes? Jibreel alayhi salam states, Jibreel alayhi salam went, he knocked on the door. Qala man? Qala Jibreel. Someone from the other side, who is it? He said, I'm Jibreel. Qala man ma'ak? Who is with you? He said, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When he heard the name of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they asked, has he been invited? Of course he's been invited. They opened the door. The special door. And the Prophet ﷺ entered. Now, on each sky, the Prophet ﷺ met the prophets. At the moment, they were all praying behind namaz behind the Prophet ﷺ. Now, they're already there now. Okay, subhanAllah. In the first sky, I'm speaking because of lack of time, okay? I've only got 20 minutes, I've got lots to talk about. But the first sky, the Prophet ﷺ entered, and he met Sayyidina Adam ala nabina wa alayhi salatu taslim. The Prophet ﷺ states, I saw Adam alayhi salam